Welcome to Joseph Mtonga YouTube channel. Subscribe, share, and like. Last time when we met, we looked at types of cells, and we looked at animal and plant cells. But today, you will find that actually cells can be seen in different structural, in different structures because of their structural modification, and because the structural modification is due to the functions which these cells perform. For example, last time you looked at cells as this one here, and that one there, as as is this one here as a plant cell, and this one here as an animal cell. Okay, but you'll find that because of functions, these structures here can be modified further and acquire more structures because of the functions that these cells perform. And because of that, we call this type of cells as specialized cells. And this is the topic for today. Now, when you look at animal cells, there are also different types of specialized cells in animal cells. We have, for example, here the red blood cell. And this is the structure of the red blood cell. Here it's like this in the transverse section. And mind you, this is not a nucleus. It's just showing you a disc shape. That the shape of the red blood cell is a disc shape, and it has the adult red blood cell has no nucleus. But the smaller ones, as the red blood cells are developing, at the beginning they will have a nucleus. But as they become specialized, the nucleus is lost, and the position that is occupied is supposed to be occupied by the nucleus is occupied by a pigment known as hemoglobin. And this is how it looks in the longitudinal section. Okay, it is biconcave. That's why they say the red blood cell has a biconcave shape, because in longitudinal section it looks like a biconcave or prism or something like that, or a biconcave mirror, and so on and so forth. So it has a biconcave shape or biconcave lens. Then you have another group of animal cells, the so-called specialized animal cells. You have the white blood cell. And there are several types. Here I've only given you one type, the phagocyte. You can see here it has a lobed nucleus. Very different from the nucleus which is there. Then you have here, this one here, the function of the white blood cell is to fight germs in the body. Then you have the sperm cell. Okay, the sperm cell is specialized. You can see from that cell there, which is just oval or circular, you come to this one, which now has a longitudinal section, which is a filament, which is a tail. Sometimes we call it a tail, which has been put there because now this cell has a special function in that it has to move in the reproductive system of a woman to go and fertilize an egg. So these are the structures which have been incorporated in the original cell, animal cell, to have this protruding structure which we call a tail. Then we have other specialized cells, animal cells. We have the nerve cell. The nerve cell, you can have something like this. Okay, this is a series of nerve cells. For example, this is a sensory nerve cell, sensory, and this is a relay neuron or nerve cell, and this one here is a motor neuron or nerve cell. So this is a nerve cell. You can see the nucleus there in the middle, which normally we call them as body cells. It has a nucleus there, okay, and here in the relay neuron it is in the middle there. Then you have got this one here in the motor neuron. These are nerve cells. Their function is to conduct impulses. That means electrical messages in the body. Then you have the next example of a specialized animal cell. You have, for example, the muscle cell. E.g. smooth muscle, smooth muscle cell. You see that it is spindle shaped like this, and with a nucleus. So this would be our smooth muscle cell. Okay. So that is our smooth muscle cell. Then you have skeletal muscle, and you can also have cardiac muscle. So the muscle cells, their function is contractile. They are the ones which make it possible for us to move, because the muscles are connected to our skeletal system, and because when they contract and they relax, they make our limbs move. So that is in terms of the muscles. Okay, so that is the smooth muscle, an example of a muscle cell. So those are examples of plant cells, of animal cells. There are so many of them. For now, I think we'll stop there. But as we go on in our lessons, we'll meet several types of animal cell types that are specialized. Now, very quickly, let us go to examples of specialized plant cells. The specialized plant cell, you have the xylem. The xylem conducts mineral salts and the water. You have the xylem. The xylem is lignified, so that's why it cannot easily collapse. Then number 7, we have the phloem. The phloem cell is the one which conducts manufactured food. It transports manufactured food. For example, when food is manufactured in the leaves, for it to be taken to various parts of the plant, it is transported through the phloem. So we have here, for example, the structure. So this one here is a companion cell. You have the sieve tube. sieve tube element, and the sieve plate. Okay, so that is our phloem cell. And then very quickly, we have other cell types. For example, the stomata. I think we'll stop there. We have not the stomata as the cell, but the cell there is actually the guard cell that guards the stomata. So the cell is not the stomata, but the guard cell. Okay, so these are guard cells. And then this opening here is the stoma. The opening, and maybe this one here is the epidermis. Okay, so this is a specialized cell because you can even see the shape there. It protects or guards the opening in the leaves, which we call the stoma. Okay, so it controls the opening and closing of the stoma, so that it can control the transpiration. It can control the entry of the entry of maybe even air and the coming out of air that is not needed by the plant. So that is the stoma. Okay, so those are some of the specialized cell, and you can see they are quite modified from the normal cells that we saw as original animal and plant cells. So when we say specialized cells, we are looking at one, how the cells have been modified to perform, structurally modified to perform a specific function. And it's very important that you get to know the specialized plant and animal cells. Here I've just given you a few examples. Spot test. Question 1. What do you understand by the term specialized cell? What do you understand by the term specialized cell? Number 2. State 2 examples of animal cells and specialized animal cells, and 2 examples of sorry, sorry about that, of specialized animal cells. State 2 examples of specialized plant cells and 2 examples of specialized animal cell. Differentiate between adult red blood cell and immature red blood cell. Differentiate the difference between adult red blood cell and immature red blood cell. That's it for today. I'm your host, Joseph Rajab Tonga. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe.